The guest that I have today is none other than Madhu Kela of MK Ventures.
यहाँ का मैंने सुना पानकी बहुत अच्छा है।
Yeah, pancake is very good. Pancake is very good. Let's call for some pancake.
क्या ये?
बाजरी पनीर।
Oh wow.
No, we
Oh,
need
wow.
some chutney.
हाँ, थोड़ा चटनी।
Some chutney दे दो भैया.
I love it.
Meeting Rakesh ji was a real turning point in my life.
Would you discuss a lot of ideas with him?
All the ideas with him.
Alright.
And he was again, even if it's something, he would not buy it. But he will advise me right. और भी कुछ लेके आ रहे हो क्या? श्रीखंड लेके आओ. श्रीखंड खिलाओ.
आप खाना श्रीखंड मैं नहीं खाऊंगी।
अरे थोड़ा तो खा के दो.
नहीं.
It is very nice. My recommendation, whether it is a food or a stock, they're all
Always
good.
So I wanted to know from you that does money bring you happiness?
It does bring me happiness. But I would agree with you only up till a point of time.
But how do we raise our kids in an environment when there is so much excess of everything? How do you raise them?
तो बच्चों का मैं बोलूँ आपको, my experience, बच्चे आप जो बोलते हो वो कभी नहीं करते, आप जो करते हो वो करते हो. So you have to raise your children by example.
What's the one top piece of advice that you would want to give every young person who's trying to stay relevant, make money, build wealth for themselves?
The first and the foremost will be you have to truly identify your passion. But I have seen in my life nothing of any significance is achieved by anyone in any field unless you are truly devoted to what you are doing. But I must tell you that when I look back on a closing mark, when I look back my own journey, trust me, I think I have not yet begun.
Hey guys, I'm happy to be a part of Zerodha's media network. Together, Zerodha and I plan to bring to you simple yet effective and impactful news and views from the best minds in the financial world. Hey guys, welcome to the Money Mindset. Now, today is a very special episode because it is an episode where we are celebrating 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So, first of all, thank you so much for being a part of this amazing journey. And the guest that I have today is none other than Madhu Kela of MK Ventures. Madhu, thank you so much for being here. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. I've been trying to catch you for very long and finally I have.
Thank you, Sonia. I am so happy for you specifically that you have contributed so immensely to small investors and their journey in wealth creation. And now finally you are doing something entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
And I've seen some of your work. It is absolutely phenomenal. So my best wishes to you. And I hope you continue to make a difference to wealth creation journey of a lot of small investors in India.
Thank you so much, Madhu. Thank you. And it means a lot to me because I do know that your journey has been nothing short of phenomenal, right? I mean, you started really very small from a small village. And today you are one of the top investors in India, top wealth creators for yourself, individual wealth creators in India. And
Thank you. I don't know whether I'm in top or not, but
top, but very humble also. Yeah. Everyone knows that about you. But tell us, what is the secret? Because, जैसे हम बोलते हैं कि 140 crore people in India, उसमें से there are hardly 10,000, 15,000 people who have created wealth for themselves.
Yeah.
What stops people from creating this big wealth in the stock markets?
So, I would say, first of all, Sonia, this is a very, I think, technical subject, right? It is only looks easy in a mirror view that I should have bought this and I should have sold this, right? Because when you are dealing with money, there is a different mindset which is there, because let's say you buy some share at 100 rupees and the price goes down in matter of 1 month to 60 or 70 rupees, At that time, because you can see the losses in front of your own eyes, to be able to hold and plus to develop this professional expertise, to develop real understanding of markets and companies, it requires years. There is a saying in the market that, that in the marketplace, जो पैसे वाले लोग हैं ना, वो एक्सपीरियंस वाले को खोजते हैं. जिनको एक्सपीरियंस है उनको पैसा मिल जाता है, और जिनके पास पैसा होता है उनको एक्सपीरियंस मिल जाता है. So it requires like swimming, trust me. Irrespective of मैं आपको कितना भी सिखाऊंगा ना कि आप ऐसे जाना, ऐसे डुबकी मारना, ऐसे सांस लेना, बट
खुद
जब
नहीं
तक
करोगे
अंदर
तो
जाओगे
हाँ.
नहीं और 2-4 बार पानी अंदर जाएगा नहीं ना, तब तक you don't learn. So it's a very tricky subject. It requires a lot of patience. Plus you're dealing with money, and plus there is a real expertise which is really needed, because there's no standard formula making money that you buy any company which is above 10p and you sell all the companies which are above 25p. There is no standard formula like this which makes money. So also let's not forget what you are investing into. That is also unpredictable. Markets are unpredictable, and what you are investing into. Sometimes, like you invested in something and Donald Trump came and he said that I will put tariff. Your whole business model temporarily has gone for a 6, right? So it's not only in India. In India there will be 10 to 15, but if you look at people who are globally, how many people are actually successful?
Correct.
It's only a handful. Even in a country like America, you can't count more than maybe 500 very, very successful investors.
Or, if I talk about you, Madhu, I mean, success it's a small word, right? Like, we talk about success being, okay, you've achieved, say, 100 crores, someone has made 200 crores, someone has made, it's relative for everyone, money, right? But in one generation, in one lifetime, to go from zero to, say, 2,000 crores, 3,000 crores of net worth, is exceptional. I mean, I don't know how many people can do it, honestly. And then to be so humble and to give back to society in a big way that you do, it's really remarkable. But I want to know कि वो secret sauce क्या है? वो कैसे? Because हम सब invest करते हैं.
Secret sauce यही है, and I wish, trust me, that I learned about a lot of this secret sauce much early in my career. As I said, a lot of these it has come through experience. तो हमने बहुत पैसा खो के ये सब lessons सीखे हैं. It does not come easy, right? And again, you can read a lot of books and all. In theory, you can say that I've learned this from the book, but when in practice is different. So ultimately you have to be a long-term investor. There is no doubt about it. Second, your preparedness of work has to be really, really good. That your research. Entire thought process, whether it is research or your thesis. Sometimes it is not a lot of research also. Sometimes you have a thesis. Like, I just give you an example. Like, supposing if you understood the word internet in 2000, that what this is going to do to the world, and you had some kind of a visualization कि internet से दुनिया में इतना impact होने वाला है. Sonia, there is $25 trillion, I repeat, $25 trillion of wealth which has got created on that one theme. Whether you talk of Apple, we talk of Google, we talk of Amazon, what is it? Without internet and without fast internet, it would not have been possible to reach out to so many people, right? So sometimes your whole thesis, that yes, you betted big on the thesis, and then you continue to do work to strengthen your thesis, and you keep listening to the market. See, I can't operate in isolation. I can't say, okay, I have suddenly discovered this thesis and I am ignoring the market. Market is not responding to my thesis. So what is the value of that thesis? So the quality of work which you do, the level of conviction which you have, and then you have to have an emotional strength. See, what happens when you are an investor and you are watching the market. Unlike when you put money in insurance, unlike you put money in gold or property or bank, you don't go and check every day what has happened. You go and how many times would you have checked yourself what is the value of your house or your property? Hardly any time, right? But fortunately or unfortunately, because it is liquid, you check the stock prices practically every day. Even if you don't want to check, someone other will message you that this is what has happened, right? So to be able to deal with that fluctuation and the volatility and all the noise, that is what really makes it very difficult. So the level of research, conviction, the thesis, the market volatility, and to top it all, that they to be able to go through the drawdown in your portfolio and still be convinced. Like if you look at the best companies in India, whether you talk of Titan or you talk of Divis, in last 20 years, they would have corrected maybe 30, 40, 50%, maybe 10 times.
Correct.
But and if your net worth in one company is hundreds and thousands of crores and you see a 30, 40% drawdown, you require a very different level of conviction and a mindset, both in terms of understanding the company, having your own conviction and thesis, and having the emotional strength and agility to go through that drawdown, which is what really particularly makes it very, very difficult. And that is why, all the people who really like invested for longer term and who've seen this cycle, they have made really a lot of money in this market.
So Divis is one stock, right, where you caught it early and you watched it grow. Just tell us a little bit about that. At what price did you buy Divis? What was the market cap at that time?
So, Divis market cap was 140 crores when the IPO came. And some of the smartest people, actually, company did not raise any money. See, this is a very unique company, Sonia, and I think very underappreciated for what they have actually delivered. Even today, I would say, in the marketplace. So look at the history of the company. The total money Mr. Murali Divi has raised is only 10 crores. Only 10 crores, right? Till now. Out of which 6 crore he put himself. To external money raised was only 4 crores. And the IPO was offered for sale. So the people who bought it at 10 rupees, they sold it at 140 rupees. And some of the smartest investors participated in offer for sale at 140 rupees, thinking that their money has gone 14 times, right? In matter of that 5-7 years. But after that, that 140 crore has become 1,40,000 crores.
Wow.
Or maybe more. So if you actually reinvested your dividend, whatever you got in Divis, and you have just stayed put, you would have made maybe 1,500 times your money. 1 crore if you had invested, it would have become 1,500 crores.
Wow.
So that is the real power of investing. It's not only that this has happened only in Divis. Rakesh Bhaiya actually made money in Titan, or the Maniji would have made money in VST or so many other companies. Someone else would have made money in Kotak Bank or HDFC Bank. But the story or thesis is all the same, that you bought really an extraordinary opportunity. You bought into extraordinary entrepreneur. You bought into a space which was very large, where the external opportunity was very large. And you bought big quantity. And most importantly, you bought it at a price where you had a tremendous margin of safety. I'll tell you my own story, so a couple of them which I've still been holding. So Divis was one thing which I did, as I told you, I hope I had all this wisdom when I was very young. I didn't have, honestly. And as I speak to you, I'm still developing. So let's say, for instance, Radico Khaitan, we bought maybe 10% of that company, 8-9% of that company, when the market cap was only 100 crores. Today, the market capitalization of Radico Khaitan is 35,000 crores.
Wow.
See, right? Only 100 crores to 35,000 crores. But when I kind of left Reliance, at that time, I bought personally Radico Khaitan shares at 115 odd rupees, and it is all disclosed, right?
And
today that stock is close to 3,000 rupees, 2,800 rupees. And I'm still holding part of it, right?
But what was it in the company that...
So that is what I'm trying to say. So what happens, when you identify these things and you buy cheap. So Radico, after I bought, it went up from 115 rupees, it went to 500 rupees. And in COVID time, again it fell to 220 rupees. So the moot point is, if you have bought it at a price where margin of safety is very, very high, आप अपना गेन के साथ सेक्रीफाइस कर सकते हो, पर एक्चुअल जब कैपिटल लॉस होता है ना, उसके साथ डील करना बहुत टफ होता है.
तो वो आप डील कैसे करते हो?
आई रिपीट, मैं बहुत जगह पे डील नहीं करना पड़ता है, बिकॉज आई बाई इट एट अ प्राइस जहाँ पे मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी इज रियली हाई एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, दैट सो
But फिर भी आपको वो pinch होता है ना 500 से 200
हाँ,
Radico के तक
होता है,
पहुंचने में।
but that's what I'm saying. That is what the experiences teaches you, and a lot of times we also end up selling that. There's something really tragic which happens in the industry or a company or in the market, and that is the overall evolving of that. Now, if you ask me, I already had a thesis that liquor business will do extraordinarily well because we have a young population. The per capita income is growing. And when we analyze this company Motai in China, that makes like $15 billion profit. And all listed companies put together were making merely $500 million profit. Then we dig deeper. Then why is the case? The case is because it's not been a very transparent business in India, right? Take, for instance, case of UP.
Regulatory issues.
Regulatory. UP mein, Sonia, the total excise collection was only 8,000 crores in 2011-12. In 2017, before the Yogi government came, it was 17,000 crores. Last year, it was more than 50,000 crores because they freed up the whole thing. And once you free up the whole thing, like this is the same thing which has happened in Andhra Pradesh. Now, the important thing is I had a thesis. There is a younger population and this industry will do really well. I did not know when UP will open up. I did not know when Andhra Pradesh will open up. I don't know when Tamil Nadu will open up. But that is the thesis is at some point of time, because now few states have seen success, these other states will be compelled to open up. And once that open up, organized players will actually make money. And then when we invest, then we do a lot of work. In this thing, आप भले 500 रुपए का bottle बेचते हो या 5,000 का bottle बेचते हो, it is not very different. Your cost structure is not very different. Only you do more distillation and you hold it for a longer period of time. So your cost does not proportionately grow. So it's like when you're selling a LV purse, whether you sell it for 1.5 lakh rupee or 5 lakh rupee, the cost is not that different. It is only the brand. The same thing in let's say, for instance, in liquor business, right? So, once you develop the understanding and buy cheap enough, and after a period of time, then you just have to ride. Wow. Now, I don't get tempted looking at, let's say, Radico price every day. There's so much money which I'm making. Should I sell it?
So, at what point do you sell then?
We will see when the company actually, either the stock really becomes very euphoric, right? Or when I see the company not able to perform, right? Like 2-3 quarter results will be much lower.
Or stagnates in terms of performance.
Or there is some really negative development in the industry, which I feel is sustainable. Or the promoter commits something stupid. Let's say they decide to go into steel business. They are into liquor business. But and that is what has happened with many promoters in the past. They have gone into capital allocations which were never justified. So at that point of time, then okay, this has happened. And see, one of the things, Sonia, which has taken me years to learn, which Bhaiya used to teach us in a very light manner, that highs are much higher than what you can think. And lows are much lower than you can ever imagine. Typically, when you buy a company, you think, I bought it for, let's say, 10 times EV/EBITDA, and it will go to 30 times EV/EBITDA. It will get fully priced in. So, what we have created here, and I'll be happy to make you see, we don't call it a research department. We call it wealth creation lab. Right? Because we are studying wealth creation and wealth destruction. As much passion we put how wealth gets destroyed as we put in how wealth gets created. And that arouses a curiosity. Like I'm just telling you, for example, right now railway stocks are in very large theme. There's everywhere railway and defense.
Correct.
I'm very curious to understand. Just as an example, and I'm likely to fix up a meeting and talk to the chairman. What is it we are missing? Correct. Like for instance, RVNL. There is a 90,000 crore market cap for a 1,200 crore EBITDA company with 6% EBITDA margin and net debt. So, I am not, I don't have zero arrogance to say that, something is wrong with the market or something is, or the company is this, that, As a student, I want to understand.
But that is the case with a lot of industries now, right? Even defense. for
और
that
बट
matter.
वही समझना पड़ेगा ना सोनिया कि मैं आपको क्या बोल रहा हूँ, किसी को लग सकता है कि रेडिको या XYZ कंपनी जो मेरे पोर्टफोलियो में है 30 टाइम EV बिड्डा में महंगा है, पर हम देख रहे हैं रेलवे का कंपनी जो 6% मार्जिन कमाता है वो 70 टाइम EV बिड्डा भी हो सकता है, विच इज कंट्रोल बाय गवर्नमेंट. तो व्हाट इज एक्सपेंसिव और व्हाट इज चीप, इट्स ऑल रिलेटिव, राइट?
Correct.
What we are studying here continuously and whatever experiences which we have had in the past. So if you ask me, I have no regret of not working hard to identify enough companies. We have identified n number of very, very good companies. If at all, the regret is only that the wisdom was not there to buy enough and to hold it through these volatile times. And we ended up applying our extra mind, which was not actually
Not
needed,
required.
which was not required or which was not needed. And we ended up exiting out of a lot of very, very beautiful companies which we identified.
Can you give me some examples where you
Lot,
identified?
including Divis. I am saying including Divis.
अरे डिवीज में इतना पैसा बनाया आपने
नहीं,
और
नहीं,
कितना बनाना है
नहीं,
आपको?
ऐसा नहीं, मैं बोल रहा हूँ आपको, that is the thing, you see the opportunity ना. What I am saying is we identified Siemens. Bajaj Finance, you will not believe, we have bought Bajaj Finance, maybe 10% of Bajaj Finance in Reliance Mutual Fund between Sunil and me. Maybe market cap was less than 1,000 crores.
और आज कितना है?
5 लाख करोड़ है. मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ आपको ना, ये इतना ब्यूटीफुल जगह है ना, मैं यहाँ पे कोई एंड नहीं है to what you can create, what you can build. But sometimes you are constrained by your own thought process, by your own constraint of thinking. Like I am saying you, like I gave you an example of, we have missed this entire, so we caught the PSU rally beautifully in COVID. We spoke about it, we bought a lot of PSU banks, we bought railway stocks, we bought defense stocks, we made money in the first round and we got out, right? After that, I missed out completely this rally of defense stock in the latest rally which has come into railway stock. So I am disappointed that I did not make money, but I am more disappointed that after years of my experience, how did I miss it? So that is what, keeps at least me going, to keep studying some of these things, that, markets are much larger than we think.
But आपको क्या लगता है, why is it that in 140 crore people, there are only 10, 15, maybe 20,000 people who have made big money in the stock market when it's out there for people to see कि कितना पैसा बना सकते हैं हम लोग stock market
पर
में?
यही है, मैं बोल रहा हूँ उसके लिए जो patience with what all of this thing, और ये आप समझ रहे हो ना, ये कठिन सब्जेक्ट है. मतलब बाहर से देख के बहुत आसान लगता है कि आप बैलेंस शीट देख के कमा लोगे, आप एनालिसिस करके कमा लोगे, बट you have to be, it's like the job is that of like a बावर्ची, that सबको मटेरियल तो सबको मिल जाता है ingredient, but who makes a really a perfect dish, that's an art. I'm sure you can relate this much better, So, but every bawarchi is not the same.
Correct.
It's like in the market also, it's not same that all information is available to everyone, but who is able to put it through, have a thesis and have the conviction. In market, your patience will be tested every day. So one way or the other, even if you make money, the patience will be tested. If you lose money, your patience will be tested. The market goes down, your patience will be tested. Market goes up, your patience will be tested. But eventually, your conviction gets rewarded. But are you really convinced? And one thing which I've learned, Sonia, which I would like to say to everyone, that, and I'm very, very proud that I have not copied anyone. I have not got influenced by anyone. I got inspired by people, but I have not got influenced by people. So my own goal is to be a better version of Madhu Kela every day. Right? Because see, the way I have understood the market, the way I have made money, many people may not subscribe. You know, a lot of people will not buy this kind of company. But I am saying you, supposing if I blindly copied Warren Buffett, neither I'll be Madhu Kela. There's
Nor
no
you'll
question
be
of me becoming my Warren Buffett, right? So it is better that in the market, if you truly want to succeed, you have to develop your own thesis. You have to develop your own conviction. Like for instance, मैं आपको बोलता हूँ, बहुत सारा बात होता है कि small cap companies are overvalued or you know you invest in only large companies. Like we have made a lot of money investing in large cap companies, including likes of Divis, Larsen and Toubro we bought last year. We bought the State Bank of India. We bought Bharti Airtel, etc., etc. But you know, my thesis is that why should I restrict myself? See, I don't have a compulsion where I have lakhs of crore rupees to invest. If I had that compulsion, then my mindset, of course, will be very different. That I can't deploy that kind of money. Now I am an individual, right? And I am my own boss. I don't have to answer anyone. I don't have to answer any underperformance. If I buy something, it doesn't work for 6 months. I don't have to answer anyone, right?
Actually, there's a different kind of freedom in that, and in that there
it is phenomenal, Sonia.
Yeah.
और उसके लिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ
your productivity is better.
मैंने
I guess.
किसी का सुन लिया कि सपोजिंग बहुत यहाँ पे ओवर हीटिंग है, बहुत वो रहा. There's so much money we made in last 2 years in so many small cap companies.
But you never wanted to manage public money?
You know, I am enjoying what I'm doing. Honestly speaking, my nephew is doing Singularity, and I'm guiding him to the extent possible. But I am enjoying what I'm doing. See, this market now, if you're really, this phase of my life, you know, I want to dedicate to excellence. That I want to be really getting better at what I'm doing. It will result into definitely monetary gains and monetization. But I truly want to challenge myself every day. That can I become better at this whole game, if I may call it, every day better version of my own self. Do I still have the passion? So for this format, as I told you now, let's say if I was investing 50,000 crores or 1 lakh crore on people's behalf, we will not be able to, you know, buy so many of these small companies because then there is a constraint, you know, there is a time constraint which you have, there is a size constraint which you have. So my message to all your viewers and individual investors, you know, you watch everyone, you get information from everyone, you get inspired by everyone, but without applying your mind, don't copy anyone.
So tell me, Madhu, you know, there are a lot of young people who watch our shows, right? And now a fresh new breed of investors has come into the market. If they want to become like you, they want to create, build serious wealth for themselves, what is the playbook? What's your investment philosophy? How do you identify a company? Do you first identify a sector, then you drill it down to companies? I just want to understand your investment philosophy.
So, मैं बोलता हूँ, Sonia, first of all, I want to congratulate people who have chosen investing in stock market as their full-time career. I don't have much advice for people who are doing it part-time, honestly, you know, because वो part-time अगर आपको करना है, don't rely yourself basis on the tips कि कोई तुमको बता देगा और तुम कमा लोगे. वो अपने मरे बिना स्वर्ग किसी को नहीं मिला आज तक. यहाँ पे मिलने वाला है. नहीं, यहाँ पे भी नहीं मिलने वाला है. तो वो ये मेहनत का काम है और आपको खुद को ही करना पड़ेगा. I truly believe that this is the best possible business in the world. Not only in India, investing is one of the best possible professions. This is true businesses of businesses. You know, you are not constrained that I want to invest in X business or Y business. See, supposing you became a textile entrepreneur. I'm nothing against textile entrepreneurs. You have no choice. वो 5 साल में मंदी है तो आपको मंदी के थ्रू जाना है. But if I was a textile investor, I had a choice. मैं बेच के फार्मा में चला जाऊंगा. मेरे को फार्मा ठीक नहीं लगता तो मैं बेच के टेक्नोलॉजी में चला जाऊंगा. Right? So that flexibility is there. Third point is that, you know, you are meeting absolutely cream de la people. You know, where in my life, someone like me who came from such a small village will get so much exposure if I was not part of the market. ended up meeting so many successful investors, so many successful entrepreneurs, right? So if you have chosen this career, this is an extraordinary career. Stick to it. That is my first
But
advice
full-time.
to full time.
Yeah, full time.
Well, no, that's again, if you're chosen this as a career.
Hmm.
If you're investing part-time, there's a different thesis,
Hmm.
whether you should be doing yourself or you should be giving your money to someone. And there are so many very good portfolio managers who have come, who have done extraordinary job. That's a completely different thing. But people who have chosen to be full-time in the market, I want to congratulate them that this is a very good field. Second thing, that this is, you have to take a real long-term view of success because nothing will come easy. And as I said, it is a lot of hard work. And Sonia, in my experience, this requires extraordinary passion. This is not a 9 to 5 goody job where आप चालू किया बोले मेरे को वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस करना है, मैं इतना ही घंटा काम करूंगा, इतना घंटा काम नहीं करूंगा. It doesn't work like this. Even today, and I mean it, if you tell me at 12 o'clock in the night, Madhu, there is a great idea which is there, but you will have to go maybe 20 kilometers cycling and that person will meet you. I will do it. And it is not the money, it is my sheer passion and the love for this job. So you have to be able to have that extraordinary passion and extraordinary involvement in this job, And then you have to be willing to learn, you have to remain very humble. You see, humility is a very important thing for an investor, because arrogance will not allow you to be in this market. इधर ऐसा थप्पड़ पड़ता है, the moment you understand you know it all, market आपको एक थप्पड़ मार के बिठा देता है. That ultimately I am the boss. So you have to have, and plus when you are there, and if you are systematic, you're willing to learn, you're willing to admit to your mistake, you become better and better and better at the job. And now in our time, even getting a balance sheet was very difficult. I remember when I joined the market in 1991, even getting a piece of balance sheet was extremely difficult. You had to go to Bombay Stock Exchange, register ourselves, get
now
a balance
everything
sheet.
Is available.
Everything is available. So it is much easier for the people who have come now. There's so much, actually there is excess of information.
Yeah, that is also a problem.
It's a problem. But again, if you are methodical, if you are systematic, if you really want to build, you want to really devote, there is so much to learn. If people like you are doing such a fabulous job. You're getting actually the best minds in this country to interact, and the format is so beautiful. There's no constraint of talking for 15 minutes.
No.
Unlike in television, if I go, you had the constraint that you have to finish the show in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. You have so many podcasts, not only of Indian investors, but global investors. So if you are someone who is really devoted, someone who is really willing to work hard, there is a possibility. And some of these youngsters will create better investors than us also. Let me tell you, in 20 years of time, there will be some people, like you look at the journey of Nitin from Jiroda. They came from nowhere. And what they've created, they made actually India pride.
Correct.
They like stockbroking business was known to me. Why I could not create Jiroda? I had a 10-year head start than Nitin. Right?
Yeah.
But the fact is, and that is what will happen. Even in investing, there will be a lot of people who will come, who will have the passion, who will put in the hard work, and they will create.
But you come from a very small town, no? I just want to understand a little bit about your journey, because I know that you started from a very humble background. Were your parents like you came from a village, right?
Yeah. So I come from Chhattisgarh. I come from a small village. My father is a farmer. But मैं बोलूं, with humility, I'm accepting that I have done reasonably well in life. I could have done much better, as we spoken.
नहीं ऐसे
But
मत
there is
बोलो आप. I'm
something-
much better. मतलब वो तो
but
endless
there's-
होता है.
But Sonia, मैं बताऊं, there's something about people with a similar background. Trust me, when you come from a tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 kind of cities, when you come from a background where you have no choice but to succeed, then the determination and the passion actually comes automatically. Because see, when I went to a small school in my village, it was a government school. I have seen so much adversity in early part of my career. So that resolve is there. Like
कि
today,
कुछ करना है.
today आप नरेंद्र भाई को देखो ना, अपना सक्सेस तो क्या है?
हाँ.
Even if someone who was selling tea
हाँ.
in a railway station could become Prime Minister of India. That is really the opportunity of life. So if you look around people who have succeeded, like talk about Vijay Shekhar Sharma, talk about people like even Sajan Jindal or Gautam Bhai, who created empires in last 20-25 years. But if you look at the background of all of these people now, I have nothing against people who are highly educated or they come from good universities or colleges, but a lot of these people had no such background, including me. I did not go to any fancy school or any fancy college, but the resolve was there. नहीं अब करना है, और आप अभी भी मेरी आंख में देख रहे हो that the resolve is only getting more stronger.
Actually, I want to know because I see it with a lot of people that beyond the point money stops making a big difference, right? I mean, पैसे of course बन रहे हैं side में, but there is this passion to do something. So what motivates you to get up every day?
मैं passion है, आपको मैं honest to बोलूं, after a point of time, consciously or unconsciously, you start loving the impact which you are making. The impact which you are making on larger society, on people, on say supposing if I work with an entrepreneur very closely and I share my capital market wisdom with him, and he kinds of, supposing he finds some merit in that and he implements it, and if the company ends up creating thousands of crore rupees of value. So I'm not actually waiting for him to give me a certificate that I contributed in his journey, but it gives me tremendous happiness and tremendous confidence that is what keeps you going. See, ultimately, Sonia, मैं आपको पूछता हूँ, you have made enough money. There's no reason for you to continue to do these shows. Why are you doing this? You're doing it because there is a sense of contribution which you also get. आपने बोला ना, 1 lakh subscriber हो गए. There is somewhere that pride which is there, that 1 lakh people are watching the good work which you are doing, right? And you are able to contribute. Same thing.
But I have not made enough money. I can still make a lot of money.
I am sure you have made enough money, and I am sure you will make enough money. You are on the right track now.
But एक बात है, every person who I speak to, whether it is Ramesh, whether it is you, whether it's Vijay Kedia ji, anyone, they always say कि we could have made lot more. Ramesh ji, when I spoke to him, he was the first guest on my show. He said, my only regret in life is I could never make as much money as Rakesh ji and as his peers. Vijay Kedia also, I could have made a lot more money. It's never enough, na? Then if that fulfillment after making 1,000 crores or 500 crores, which is like, people can never think of this money in their lifetime.
मैं आपको बोलूँ ना, जो disconnect है ना, it is not about the absolute amount of money. The disconnect is not living up to your full potential. At least I can talk about myself, and maybe it is true for Ramesh, maybe it is true for Rakesh Kedia. We knew that we are capable. मतलब क्या है, आपने मेरे को पूरा एक मग्गा पानी लाके दी, एक गिलास पूरा पानी लाके दिया और मैंने एक सिप लगा के उसको रख दिया. I knew that the whole glass was there for me to drink, but मैंने एक सिप रख के एक सिप पानी लेके रख दिया, पी लिया. तो वो वैसे ही सब हमारा सबका स्टोरी है. That we identified the right companies. We had the right. Didn't I had 1 crore to invest in Divis? Didn't I had?
You had.
I obviously had. Didn't I have?
But you didn't invest.
I didn't invest and I didn't kept it. Otherwise, my Divis, if I had invested 5 crore rupees, it will be 7,500 crores in the name of Madhu Kela, right? Wow. By now, I don't have it. Right? So the discontentment is not for not being able to make that money. Maybe that is also there, but it is not being able to live up to your full potential.
So how do you live up? I want to understand even for myself, right? How do you live up to your full potential? Everyone knows deep down कि मैं बहुत बड़ा आदमी बन सकता हूँ.
पर अभी करना है ना, वही that is what I'm saying. You have to keep learning from your mistake. You don't have to say that you have it enough. वो नहीं होता है कभी enough. वो इनफ कब होएगा जब अपन चले जाएंगे यहाँ से, तब तक के तो काम कर रहे हैं सोनिया। हम अभी, मेरे लिए तो मैं आपको बोल सकता हूँ, आई कांट इन्वेस्टाइज माई लाइफ विदाउट मार्केट्स। आई डोंट नो व्हाट आई विल डू।
सेम इवन विद मी।
तो मैं तो नहीं कर सकता हूँ, तो अभी जब ये करना ही है तो इसको अच्छे से करेंगे ना, राइट? वी विल डिवोट आवरसेल्फ एंड years of this experience which one has accumulated, one would like to make that, one would like to see that one makes the most out of it. And as long as you are hungry for that excellence and you are truly living your passion, I don't think you will get tired.
तो जो बहुत सारे बड़े इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, whether it's राकेश झुनझुनवाला, whether it's रमेश दमानी, whether it is मधु केला, one thing I've noticed is they can withstand failure very well, right? Failure, I mean a drawdown of 30%, 40%, 50% in the stock. That's something I can't do, not yet. मैं जब भी मेरी जो भी पिक है, मैं बहुत कन्विक्शन होती है वो स्टॉक में, बट वो स्टॉक कोविड में या यूक्रेन वॉर में या कुछ भी, if it falls more than 30%, I start panicking. So how do you as an investor cross that hump?
So there are two things, I think one, any stock which I buy, I ask myself one thing now. If the stock falls by 25%, will I buy more or will I panic? Even before investing, now I ask that question to myself. And let's say if the stock actually falls by 25%, there is a certain thesis which I had, there are certain numbers, there are certain fundamentals on which I had based my argument. The stock would have fallen either by some temporary reason in the company or because of the market. It has happened because of the market. And if I have money, then I surely will go and buy more of the same company.
Can you give me some examples just for understanding?
बहुत सारी कंपनीज होगा, लेकिन supposing, take for instance ITD cementation. You remember that,
बहुत गिरा था,
बहुत बीच में गिरा था,
और बहुत सालों के लिए कुछ नहीं हुआ,
फिर हमने लिया, फिर ऊपर गया, then
अभी तो I think all time high में है ना?
I give you, and we are obviously you must have done full disclosure.
Yes, full disclaimer.
That there is
it's not recommendations.
It's not recommendation. I give you one example. I like this company which is owned by Brookfield. It's a small NBFC called Endostar Capital, right? And we've liked it for a very long period of time. Maybe so we bought it. You'll find it very funny because of the Brookfield name and parentage. We bought the first time the stock at maybe 250, 260 rupees, and then 4-6 quarters nothing happened. Then there was some SEBI compulsion for another investor to sell the stock, and the price became 100 rupees. So I aggressively participated 100 rupees. And that is what your preparation can do. So the thesis was the Brookfield ownership, the conviction, nothing has changed. Only 4-6 quarter results have not come. At that time, the net worth of the company was 3,000 crores. And the market cap had become 1,200 crores. And we bought much more than what we bought at 250 rupees at 100 rupees.
But if 4-6 quarters results don't come, that doesn't make you nervous? क्यों नहीं आ रहा है result?
नहीं, हम जाते बात करते ना, उसका कारण हमको पता है ना कि हाँ कोई गलती हुआ था पुराने मैनेजमेंट से, एक बार राइट अप हो गया, अभी एक बार राइट अप हुआ है तो the company is not in credit worthy, so they are not getting the liability. But in my mind, in my thesis, I still know that the parentage is so strong that eventually all of these things will get corrected, and a lot of it is there in value. So when it went from, let's say, 100 to 200 rupees, and then it corrected again to 150, we bought more. Then again from 150 we went to maybe 250, and again it corrected to 200. We bought more. So even today, I'm saying no, if the stock corrects by another 50 rupees, I may end up buying more. So what I'm saying you, as long as you made a thesis on any company and you are convinced about the thesis and fundamentally nothing has changed, then the price corrections are beautiful opportunity, because we as investors are only looking to deploy our money into companies which can make profitable investments. So what is there to be scared? But let's understand, there is a difference between risk and volatility. What I'm talking about is volatility. In some time, there could be a risk. Like in my portfolio, let's say I bought Jayaprakash Associate in my Reliance days, right? And that stock fell from 300 rupees to 200 or 150 rupees. And we could see that things have changed, leverage has changed, the company has changed, etc. And we ended up selling. That was risk.
That was risk.
And we had to get out at that point of time, because if we had not got out, our money would have become zero. So, it's not like you can make one formula and that will be applicable everywhere. When the stock falls, the most important thing to go and reassess that is my thesis still intact? Do I still have conviction that the business model of the company is strong, the parentage is still very strong, and nothing fundamentally has changed in any dramatic manner?
So can I ask you one question
Yeah,
on
please.
example, right? Say example like Asian Paints.
Yeah.
Great company, great management, good business, strong, dynamics, everything. But suddenly there's a big disruptor in the market.
Yeah.
Birla Opus. And stock starts falling. What do you do at a time like this?
So if you have conviction, again the difference is
because you don't know how the competitor will
That's why
perform.
I'm saying the whole question is, has it become cheap enough for me to go and buy? What is priced in? So I gave you the earlier example of Indostar. When I thought that at 1200 crore market cap, a lot of it was priced in for a 3000 crore net worth, right? I don't know whether that has got priced into Asian Paint as of today. What all can get disrupted, and there are many more competitors. But supposing, let's say, Asian Paint, for instance, it falls a lot, and it becomes really attractive, then it is a buy. I don't think there's any thesis on the management or the external opportunity. Or they say today there is a competitor. In every industry there will be a competitor. Why talk about only one Birla? There will be 10 other people who can come into paint industry.
Yeah.
But that doesn't kind of take away what Asian Paint has built in that sense. So if the stock really becomes attractive, that time I will certainly go and buy.
So, I was having this conversation with Rajiv Thakkar of Parag Parekh and PPFS, and he was telling me that a lot of industries are now in a winner-takes-all sort of situation. So, abhi, for example, quick commerce, there are 6 players right now. 5 साल बाद you may only have 1 player.
1 or 2.
1 or 2 max, right? Telecom में भी वही हो रहा है. बहुत सारे industries में वैसे हैं. So, what do you do at a time like that? Like, for example, quick commerce. Now, I'm an investor in some of these quick commerce companies, but they're doing well today, but who knows 5 साल बाद कौन सा टिकेगा?
दिखेगा ना आपको, क्वार्टर बाय क्वार्टर दिखेगा ना कि कौन मार्केट शेयर गेन कर
रहा है. बट अभी तो बहुत कैश बर्न हो रहा है ना, तो क्वार्टर
बाय क्वार्टर मार्केट शेयर दिखेगा आपको, कौन आदमी एक्चुअल, एंड दैट इज व्हाई आई से दिस इज अ वेरी टेक्निकल सब्जेक्ट, राइट? मतलब you just can't say by blanket statement, but when you go and do your deep dive research, you will know which business model is very strong, which are the people who are actually making incremental headways, and which are the people who are actually losing money. And if you are really truly devoted and passionate about it, you will know that who the winner is. And then, let's say you betted on 3 companies. In 1 or 2 companies, you may lose 20%, but that is the time you have to have the guts to say, okay, I will cut my losses, and this is the guy I believe is going to go. And that guy could make it much, much bigger than what you think he will end up making.
Interesting. So, how do you look at the promoters of a business? Because abhi kya ho raha hai ki there are a lot of great startup promoters who are coming to the market, right? But some people are maybe too aggressive. I mean, like for example, Ola. I'm just giving one example, right? Yeah. Business, great space to be in, EVs growing very fast, but आपने देखा है क्या trajectory हुआ ओला का. Somewhere down the line, it's a promoter issue as well. So, how much importance do you give a promoter, a founder?
I give a lot of importance to promoter, and I used to like very aggressive people when I started my career, honestly. But over a period of time, it is something which one has learned that only aggression it will take you only this far, but it is not your final destination that you are going to be succeeding with only aggressive people. So when you look at a promoter, course you want to back a person who has got real fire in the belly. But at the same time, you want to back a person who understands capital allocation, who understands, what the resources are, who understands how to build a team, who understands what risk is he taking to achieve what, etc. And in that journey, right, honestly, for me, promoters and management are one of the most crucial things which I look into any investing. I used to look in the past also, but over a period of time, we have continued to refine the way we look at it, and I think we are still, it is work in progress. Like for instance, I'll tell you, when this whole episode of Adani happened, I must be one of the only few voices who would have come to your channel and said that it is a buying opportunity. Because one Hindenburg can't take away what Adani has created.
Correct.
It requires a tremendous entrepreneurship to go to some barren land and visualize that you could build the largest port of India here. It requires even more tremendous opportunity to go even to Khavda and visualize that you could buy 2 lakh acres of land. So, one incidence can't take away all which you have created. So in that kind of a situation, when you have backed a promoter and there is a 20-year history of them, of not blowing out money, no real big capital misallocation, no real big, siphoning of money, etc. That's the time. So you want to back promoters who have actually done phenomenal work and are really, really focused, not on talking, but on execution. अभी सोनिया मैं आपको कितना भी इधर बात करूं, एकदम सब ज्ञान का बात मैंने आपको बोला, right? But if I would not make money and if I would not execute what I am talking, I would not have the opportunity to have this conversation with you.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because I have executed what I am talking in my life, that is why you have come and you are having a conversation with me. Same thing is true for promoters, na? वो क्या बात करता है वो इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं, वो क्या करता है वो इम्पोर्टेंट है. तो हम लोग वही वॉच करते हैं कि वो क्या कर रहा है. लाइक यू टॉक अबाउट ओला, उन्होंने सब जाके बात बहुत किया आईपीओ के टाइम पे, हम ये कर देंगे, हम वो कर देंगे, और सब किया, पर अभी 4 क्वार्टर, 6 क्वार्टर, 8 क्वार्टर आफ्टर क्वार्टर लॉस आते ही जाता है, लॉस होते ही जाता है. So at some point of time, when the things improve, we'll change our view.
Okay, so I think we have spoken for about 45-50 time. कैसे गया पता ही नहीं चला.
Absolutely.
और बहुत सारी चीजें हैं बात करने को. I have so much to ask you, especially about कि अगले 5 साल में, अगले 10 साल में investors को कहाँ अपनी नजर रखनी चाहिए? What are the big themes, big trends that you see over the next 5-10 years?
So, I think the way to really look at this, again, it comes to my investing principle that, all my life I've only been bottom-up investor. When you identify something, you like something and you buy it. But now it has kind of got modified over a period of time. When you want to look at what you are buying bottom-up, does it form part of some larger theme? Is it also fitting into a top-down kind of approach, right? And that works really beautifully, Sonia, because once you identify a very powerful theme, let us say, supposing after COVID, you said that I want to invest in PSUs. What PSU bought, it didn't matter, honestly. Whatever you would have bought,
everything
it made money. So supposing if I like 1 PSU, 2 PSUs, 3 PSUs, then I said, okay, the overall PSU as a theme itself seems like coming back because lots of PSU stocks are showing price increases, etc. So then that yes, it is the theme to back on. So that gives you a lot of kind of conviction. So these days, whenever, even if you find some bottom-up idea, we first like to make sure that whether it is a part of
a larger theme.
So one of the themes which I've liked is, which is really long-term, maybe next 10-20 years, is this whole theme about carbon neutrality, climate change, this, that, because I know that temporarily a lot of noise about it may not do that well, specifically with whatever Mr. Trump has said. But I, for one, believe that climate change is a real problem and it will need to be resolved in due course of time. And for that, we don't have to go and ask any expert. When you go to Delhi in the month of June and when you see temperature has gone to 51 or 52 degrees last year, and when you see, rain आ रही है, Italy और वहाँ पे और winery खराब हो रही है, so we know that something is tricking in, right? So in this entire climate change, I feel there will be lots of opportunities, and so this is one theme which is there to stay. Now, the important thing, Sonia, is that today you and I discussed. Just because it's a theme, do I need to go and buy some stock tomorrow morning? No. But then I have to really be able to find the right stock in that proper theme.
And create the thesis.
Create the thesis. Be able to buy it at the right value. And because of the volatility, that's the nature of the market, because of the volatility and some good or bad news coming, that's how opportunities will get created. But at that time, if you have a clear picture that this is a much larger theme, when the opportunity comes, at that time, that is when you really go all out. So I'll just give you an example. This thesis was there in my mind. So when I met with this transformer company, transformer and rectifier, for the first time, and we spoke about it in your studio, right? For the first time, this was the larger theme which was playing out in my mind. That, energy transition. Because renewables are here to grow. Wind is here to grow. That is where we can see every day there is addition in renewable capacity which is happening. Now, wherever it is happening, it will need to be transition to होना पड़ेगा ना उसको और consumer तक के लिए. And it will require a lot of transforming capacity. That much is what is very clear. And plus, lot of old networks are there that also needs to be revamped. Now, when we looked at it and we talked to a couple of people, they said there is a shortage of transformer. I spoke to a couple of my industry friends and we did a little bit of research on with one or two US companies, etc. We said there is a shortage of transformer and they're booking transformer for 2028-29. When this company came, the absolute market cap of 1,400 crore rupees. Right? And the CFO came, Chanchal, he's a very good guy. And he explained the story. I found some real merit, and then we went and met the management after we invested. But you will not believe, we made a very quick decision. And it was roughly like a 10-bagger for us in less than 1.5 years. And obviously we sold significant portion of the stock because we felt that we've got our appreciation. Now the whole point is that, this is kind of exemplifies what I'm trying to tell you. That, you identify a theme, you keep in mind at that time, then you get a bottom-up opportunity, which kind of marries with your larger theme to go and take a larger bet at that point of time.
So you solidify your conviction from all ends.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. And then, similar thing like pharmaceutical for a
CDMO
company for a long period of time. Now, whenever we get opportunity, because we know the CDMO thing may be here for the next 5-10 years. All the companies which are doing CDMO business will not do all the time in the next 5-10 years, right?
And a lot of them have also grown.
Grown. Some of them will create opportunities. Yeah. Some bad news will come in the industry, in the market, or stock is specific in that company. So as long as the business model is not broken, it will give you an opportunity and chance to buy those kind of companies. And that's what, again, it makes the job kind of interesting.
Wow, there's so much learning in this, Madhu, but I'm also starting to get very hungry. So, should we go and eat something somewhere?
Yeah, sure, positively. Let's go.
Okay, and since you are, but I want to know where you're going to take me, because I know that you're very simple, so I don't think you like 5-star hotels and all of that.
There's a really good place called Swati here. It's a very good food.
I love Swati.
Yeah. You'll enjoy it. We can
so
go
let's
there.
go. Chalo. Okay. So हम लोग को बहुत भूख लगी थी, so we have come to Swati Snacks.
This is the best one.
अच्छा.
Dahi puri. That's your spoon.
So this is the first time I'm coming here, by the way.
Is it?
हाँ. Have you been here before?
I've come here many times. My office is next door, so
हाँ.
I come here quite often. It's one of my favorite
हाँ.
restaurants, I would say.
I thought you know, मतलब इतना पैसा बनाने के बाद कोई 5-star होटल में लेके जाओगे, इधर
नहीं
खाना
यार, पर ये
खाओगे.
क्या है, अपने तो
ये तो 5 स्टार से भी अच्छा है.
हिंदुस्तानी आदमी है ना, अपने को we have to enjoy the food,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Absolutely.
So it's a really nice place. You'll really enjoy the variety here. बहुत अच्छा है.
यहाँ का मैंने सुना पान की बहुत अच्छा है.
Yeah, panki is very good. Panki is very good. Let's call for some panki.
So when you मतलब आपकी जो जर्नी है बहुत ही ऐसे sometimes do you think also कि मेरी कितनी बढ़िया जर्नी I never expected because मैं
Yeah,
सच्ची
of course.
बोलूँ आपको it's a remarkable journey, right?
Yeah. But you know, Sonia is like, you know, the
क्या ये? Oh wow.
the possibilities in life, you can never emphasize that these are all possibilities. You know, you reach somewhere, then you start reimagining. Right? You know, to be honest with you, मैंने कभी ऐसा नहीं सोचा था जब मैं गांव से आया कि God will. I always knew that I'll be able to do something relevant. But God is so kind. But you know, you would never have imagined that you will come this far. But that's how life is, you know. Once you achieve something, then you have much more encouragement to even work more harder and achieve something larger. And then you start really developing interest into subject and you know become very passionate about it, and that becomes way of your life. So of course, you know, then I would not lie to you that I don't want to make money. Of course I want to make money. But now that there are much deeper purposes, and we're talking in the office about really making an impact or really enjoying what you're doing, getting really the excellence in what you're doing. So I would say, you know, God is very kind, and one should not mistake that it's all your capability, and there are hundreds and thousands of more capable people than me who are there. But it's just that I'm blessed. That's
The
all
right time at the right place.
Right time, right place, and
Right
blessings.
opportunity.
Yeah, right opportunity, right blessings.
And also right mindset.
Yeah, that credit you can give to me.
No, and that's why I've called my show The Money Mindset, because
Yeah.
I feel more than making money in stock market
Yeah.
is the right kind of
You know the
mindset.
pancake?
हाँ चलो let's have. आप लो ना.
But it's
अच्छा.
but no, we
Oh,
need
wow.
some chutney.
हाँ. थोड़ा चटनी.
थोड़ा चटनी दे दे भैया.
और वो मिर्ची भी अच्छा लग रहा है.
हाँ, वो देगा.
I love it.
आलू.
मैं थोड़ा मिर्ची ले लेती हूँ.
हाँ, please.
I love पानकी.
Very nice. Very good. Very light.
Too good. This was a great idea. But you know, one thing that stayed with me, आपने बोला जो you learned from Rakesh Jindalwala, that you never know that the highs can be much higher.
Then what you think and lows can be much lower. But I must tell you, Sonia, meeting Rakesh ji was a real turning point in my life. I met him sometime in 1998, 99. And, you know, I'd gone to meet him because I was working in a broking firm.
अच्छा.
I wanted to sell him something which I thought was very valuable. And the man he was took a decision very quickly. And then, of course, we developed a very good.
But how did you know him? Like, how did you meet him?
No, I just went
randomly?
absolutely, went to his office.
Wow.
But I knew,
He was not big that time.
no, he was always approachable. When he became big also, he was always approachable.
You're not eating this mirchi. It's the best part.
I'm meeting him. So, he was always approachable. So, you know, before meeting him, I must candidly admit to you, the stock market was a way for making a better living for me. And it was about income generation. Well, I could never emphasize at that point of time that you can actually create generational wealth and so much wealth. It is him who actually, you know, and he was so generous, so kind, in sharing all his wisdom, all his knowledge, etc. And it was, absolutely fabulous.
Would you
So-
discuss a lot of ideas with him?
All
or
the
what?
ideas with him.
Alright.
And he was again, even if it's something he would not buy, but he will advise me right.
Okay.
That see, I am not going to buy because the size is good, but I don't like it. But you can still buy it, and you should avoid it. He was very, very generous, and later years he became literally and I have absolutely no hesitation, and I'm very proud to say that he was my true friend, philosopher, guide, and a real elder brother. Who generously contributed all his wisdom, knowledge, and love very affectionately. I truly miss him, but
So, what were some of the big lessons from him? In the sense, something that you always remember when you are investing, or just in life in general.
so a lot of his lessons were
बहुत अच्छा है ये.
Abhilo.
हाँ जी.
Lot of his lessons were also about market and much about life. So I think I've spoken a lot about what I learned from him in the market. But let me speak about what I learned from him about life. So he is someone who actually taught me what is the value of humility. Why we should remain humble, and why, whether it is money or power, why it is something which can, just go like this. The moment he used to tell, as long as आप पैसा जेब के पीछे है ना, तब तक के ठीक है. पैसा अगर दिमाग में चला गया, तो बहुत तकलीफ का काम है, right? So, yeah, then the simplicity with which he used to lead his life. You've seen how he went and met the Prime Minister of India
Yeah.
with an open shirt and this, that.
Not iron shirt.
No, absolutely. That is the person he was. So, also, whenever I would discuss with him, the value system, why we should adopt the right means to achieve right things in life, what is the value of the family, about children, about friendship, how he was as a friend. And again, lot of things about life, that why, see, this is such a, and you know it better than me, that it is not a market where people generously want to share. People are very shy of sharing.
Guarded.
Very guarded. But he was someone who taught, the more you share, the more you will become knowledgeable. Because as you share, other people will also share, right?
Yeah. Correct.
If I'm nice to you, over a period of time, you will bound to be nice to me, right?
Correct,
That's
yeah.
how it works. So he will openly share, and that's how I am. मैं ऑनेस्टली बोलता हूँ, मेरे को कोई एयरपोर्ट में अनजान आदमी भी मिल जाए ना, अगर मेरे को कोई पूछता है क्या लेने का, तो मैं बोल दूंगा उसको.
और आपको तो रोज पूछते हैं क्या लेना है.
जो कुछ मेरे से जो बनता है मैं जरूर करता हूँ. Whether it is even अनजान आदमी को मैं उसको जरूर बोल दूंगा, देख भाई मेरा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है, बट आई विल टेल यू व्हाट आई नो. But in life also, Sonia, one thing I think, what you show is what you हार्वेस्ट, राइट? आप जो देते हो दुनिया को, वही आपको मिलता है.
हाँ. Correct.
So if you show goodness, the goodness will come to you. If you show abundance, the abundance will come to you.
But a lot of people talk about you in that way. Like, I know I interact with a lot of market people. They only have good things to say about you. But I want to understand कि ये जो money journey है, it can go to people's head, right? 5 crores, 10 crores, 20 crores, 30 crores, 1000 crores, 2000 crores, मतलब नेटवर्थ जब भी बढ़ता है तो आपकी जो रिलेशनशिप विद मनी है, जो मनी के साथ अटैचमेंट है, हाउ डू यू वर्क अराउंड दैट? बिकॉज देन ऑल रिलेशनशिप्स बिकम अबाउट मनी. Everyone who approaches you has somewhere down the line something to gain or lose from you. Do you feel that way?
No, I think there are people who come, and of course, I don't make a judgment of.
हाँ, थैंक यू. मैं पूछने वाली थी एक्चुअली. बहुत अच्छा.
और भी कुछ लेके आ रहे हो क्या? श्रीखंड लेके आओ. श्रीखंड खिलाओ.
आप खाना श्रीखंड, मैं नहीं खाऊंगी.
अरे थोड़ा तो खा के देखो.
नहीं,
अच्छा, it is very nice.
मैं weight loss program में हूँ.
थोड़ा सा श्रीखंड. And और क्या लेके आए? खिचू है, खिचू. हाँ, ये खिचू लेके आओ. वो दूसरा वाला खिचू भी है ना? बाजू खिचू है, वो लेके आओ.
और एक श्रीखंड.
हाँ, श्रीखंड. तो मैं आपको बोलता हूँ
मेरा डाइट चल रहा है, इससे मैं श्रीखंड
अरे थोड़ा सा खा के देखो ना. इट इज वेरी नाइस. इट इज नॉट टू मच शुगर.
अच्छा.
नाइस. यू विल एंजॉय इट. माय रिकमेंडेशन वेदर इट इज अ फूड और स्टॉक्स, दे आर ऑल गुड.
हाँ.
Well, people approach, people have different intention, but मैं इसको ऐसे जज नहीं करता हूँ that that someone has approached, so he will have only intention of money. I try to help whoever I meet with a good intention. And even if a lot of people, everyone doesn't come across in life as how you want. But I feel if you're good, the goodness comes back to you in one form or the other. And I must tell you, I will continue to be like this only. I don't think like my family is very simple. My children are very, very simple. And I am very, very simple. That our lifestyle has not changed, and touch wood by the grace of God will never change because of the amount of money which we have or we will have. Because my lifestyle is not linked to what I earn or what I don't earn. I always want to remain in my middle class roots, wherein you should have a decent life, but you should never splurge money. You should never abuse money. Those are principles which even Rakesh Bhaiya has taught, and even my parents have taught us. Right? If you have money, there's much more you can do with money. But trust me, I enjoy my journey. I am associated with Plaksha University, where I am a founder. I am associated with Hedgewar Medical College, St. Ramchandra Institute of Medical College in Aurangabad. So a lot of good causes in life where you can actually use your
money in the right
money
way.
in the right way.
But do you ever feel like, as you make more and more money, do you feel like, oh, there's a risk of losing it? Do you get more attached to it? And I mean, because I heard a quote somewhere. I don't know if it's true. Someone said that money is brings you happiness up to a certain point. Beyond that, it brings you misery. It makes you miserable. This is what someone said. So I wanted to know from you that does money bring you happiness?
It does bring me happiness. But I would agree with you only up till a point of time. But then, if supposing you are only living your life only around money, then you will tend to, whenever you lose it, at that time the pain will be there. But see, the way I look at it, Sonia, I have a very good lifestyle. I have my own house. I have my own requirements which are being more than God has been very kind but fulfilled. दिमाग अभी भी चलता है एंड हमने 20 साल में बहुत ऊपर नीचे देखा है. We've seen many number of times our net worth go down by 30, 40, 50%. Many number of times, I would say. So we have seen it all, but we know as long as your mind is working. And see, if you have built a lifestyle which is attached to a certain level of income which you have, then it is very painful. Let's say supposing I build a lifestyle when I am spending 200 crore rupees every year, and when the market goes down, then it will hurt me much more.
Correct.
But if I not really build any spend-through lifestyle, it's okay, right? We don't want to lose it. But if we lose it, we know that we'll make it again.
Yeah. Yeah, that is
So
true.
I must tell you honestly, if you are asking me, has it gone in my head? It has not gone in my head.
No, that
And
I know.
I
That
am
I know.
confident that hopefully it will never go into my head.
And what about with your children? You have 2 children?
Yeah, I have 2 daughters.
So
I have two
how
daughters.
do you make sure? Because I'm asking this question from a personal.
आपको ये देता हूँ खिचू अच्छा है
मैंने ना 2 दिन का खाना खा लिया आज.
अरे थोड़ा तो खा लो
बहुत थोड़ा प्लीज
मैं
प्लीज.
उतना ही दे रहा हूँ दिस इज अ चटनी
अच्छा. क्या है ये, किस चीज का बना है?
दिस इज मिर्च है थोड़ा खा के देखो वेरी नाइस कि आप आए हो स्वाति तो कम से कम टेस्ट तो करो गुड आउट हियर
मेरी टीम को भी मैं खिलाऊंगी बाद
हाँ
में. इट्स रियली गुड.
अच्छा बाजरी का है
अच्छा.
तो टू दैट एक्सटेंट इज नॉट हार्मफुल
healthy.
या इट्स हेल्दी
So like I'm also raising my child and हमारे बच्चे सब बच्चे बहुत प्रिविलेज में पले बढ़ रहे हैं ना.
Yeah.
You can't help it.
यू कैन हेल्प
ऐसे ही उनकी लाइफ है, मतलब अभी है तो है, you have to accept it. But how do we raise our kids in an environment when there is so much excess of everything? How do you raise them?
तो बच्चों का मैं बोलूँ आपको माय एक्सपीरियंस बच्चे आप जो बोलते हो वो कभी नहीं करते हैं आप जो करते हो वो करते हो तो यू हैव टू रेज योर चिल्ड्रन बाय एग्जांपल नॉट बाय ज्ञान गिविंग ज्ञान राइट so if I continue to tell my children that you should work hard and I am all the time roaming around, enjoying life, etc., etc., it's very unlikely that they are going to listen to me. But if they see that I am also putting 14 hours a day, and then after that, if I tell them, so we have to, it's a challenging task for us,
Yeah.
for you or for me, for people like us, to create that hunger in our children. But I think the best way to create that hunger is to lead by example.
But I also feel like we had that hunger because we came from a background of scarcity, right? I mean, even I came from a middle class background. My parents didn't have too much to. They gave us a great childhood, but everything resources were limited. But that is not the case right now. Abhi resources are in abundance.
Yeah.
So is there anything for our children to be longing for? जब सब मिल रहा है, बैठे
There
बैठे.
is. I would love you to meet my younger daughter. I would love to meet her. She's only 16 years. Her name is Mihika. Extremely focused, I must say. She's in 10th standard. But and I've had this conversation with her. She's saying that you have had your journey. I want to have my own journey. All my life, and she's clear about it. I don't want to be a shadow of Madhu Kela.
Correct.
I want to create my own identity. And as long as she's clear about it, she will create something.
That's
And
true.
the best thing for whether it is your child or my children, they don't have pressure. That they can work with a free mind.
And they can.
And they have a lot of resources.
And also they can fail.
Yeah,
We didn't have that choice.
exactly.
We had to just
Yeah.
we had to pick options in which failure was not a choice. Abhi they can start something, if it fails, they can start something new.
They can redo it, and they can do something else. That's what I'm saying. They have the luxury in that sense.
Yeah.
But I think if you see even the second generation, take about Gautam Adani's second generation. You have to meet them. I'm telling you, I had interaction with Sagar Adani. Yeah, amazing guy. I'm telling you.
Really?
For 30-year-old, the kind of hunger, focus he had is absolutely amazing. Like the other day, I met with Parth Jindal, Sajan Jindal's son.
Yes.
What he's creating, whether it is JSW Cement or JSW Paints, etc., etc. It's not that only
And-
because you
and
have
he's
money.
very razor focused in his approach. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not just because you have done well. Your children will think that they have enough money. No, there is no need to work. They will have their own journey.
But in terms of entrepreneurship, entrepreneurs, do you see a lot of, because that वो debate चल रहा था ना बीच में कि second generation doesn't want to take forward what their parents did, सबको family office चलाना है, सबको.
No, I strongly disagree. There is a section of that which just. See, Sonia, this is my favorite subject. I think India में the progress of India is actually happening because of the sheer grit, the sheer determination and the sheer entrepreneurial culture which is there in India. You know, there are 6.3 crore MSMEs which are listed in India. There are 28 lakh companies which are registered in India. 28 lakhs, out of which maybe 18-20 lakhs are active companies, right?
Including startups and everything.
Startup, everything put together. See, when you go into Nariman Point, you can actually, this is a live example of thriving entrepreneurship of India. In and around this 1 kilometer area, you can spot 500,000 entrepreneurs. You know, कोई बिरयानी बेच रहा है, कोई पान बेच रहा है, कोई कुछ बेच रहा है, कोई कुछ बेच रहा है, कोई छोटा सा शॉप लगा है. If you go around any developed country or even developing country, you can't see this level of entrepreneurship. I think India has succeeded, or it is in the path of succeeding apart from everything else. It is because of its sheer entrepreneurial ability. And because we came from 75 years back, we got freedom 80 years back. All our parents and grandparents have seen a lot of adversity. So that is ingrained in our mind, right?
Yeah.
That we have to achieve something.
Yeah.
We have to get wealth. We have to make sure that
Come out of our adversity.
come out of our adversity.
Yeah.
So that entrepreneurial culture is there, and that is what creates all this company. That,
But then, why do you think it? I mean, it is to a certain degree an unfair comparison, but still, I will compare whether it is to China, whether it is to Singapore, whether it is Japan, right? Per capita GDP wise, India, if you remove the top 1 to 5%, is still struggling below $2,000.
Because those countries started much earlier than us. You know, China is maybe 20-25 years ahead, and they had an autocracy. We have a bureaucracy. We have a democracy, right? So we have our own challenges, and we are compared to where we were 20 years, 30 years back. You have to see that we have also made a lot of progress as a nation, right? So one can't say
Thank you.
that. Can you get another bowl? Yeah. So one can't say that we have not progressed. Obviously, you know, China would have done definitely better because of their overall
Their
culture.
move from agrarian to industrial also happened very fast.
Exactly.
They moved
And
their
plus,
population.
as I told you, there is an authoritative,
Autocratic
setup which is there. And countries like Singapore or Japan, they are 30-40 years ahead of India. You know, they started things much earlier. Hopefully, over the next 20-30 years, maybe this question will not be there.
But do you think there is something that needs, some gap that needs to be plugged? Or are we well on track to get to that $3,000 per GDP?
There's a lot that needs to be done. Yeah, I don't think we can say that what we have achieved in the next 20 years, whether it is for individual, मैं आपको बोल सकता हूँ लाइफ में नजर हटी कि दुर्घटना घटी. मतलब आज मैं भी बोलूँ ना कि मैं तो इतना सब कुछ कर लिया हूँ, अभी कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. In 1 month, all of this will vanish. If you are really not on top of your game. So as a country, there are many challenges which we have, and we have to solve many of them. There is no doubt about it. Right? So we need to, and specifically with AI and all coming, you know, in real sense, I think there are going to be lots of opportunities.
Jobs issue for sure.
Job issue also, but you know, again at the same time there are opportunities. We never thought there are going to be so many GCCs in India group in India 10 years back. You go to Bangalore, the whole street is full of global competency centers. We never thought all of this will come. So there is some loss, there is some gain. So as long as I am very bullish, as long as we have someone like Narendra Modi as our Prime Minister, who was really dedicated and who's really worked hard. I remain very optimistic that these bouts and the challenges will come, but as a nation, we are surely making progress.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I can see the progress as well. Like when I started reporting on stock markets in 2008, Sensex had fallen to 8,000. I
Yeah.
remember that day. Today we are at 80,000. So 8,000 to 80,000 journey has been full of potholes and ups and downs and everything.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That it's never going to, it's like going to be like stock price. It will go up and it will come down. But as long as the eventual trend is up, you have to. And what is life without challenges, Sonia?
Correct,
We have to. There will be no thrill if there are no challenges, right?
Absolutely. After you can say that after the challenges get over.
Yeah, exactly. But why?
At the time of the challenges, it's hard, but once it gets
But
over,
when you are dealing with them also, if you take it in the right spirit,
yeah.
right? It is.
So I want to do a part 2 of this conversation with you, Madhu, very soon on deep dive into sectors, themes, focus, all of that.
I've enjoyed talking
Yeah,
to you.
it was
honestly,
really fun.
And we must do. I'd be very happy. And Sonia, this is reaching to so many young people. I wish even if 1% of them take out some relevant content or some inspiration, I would think the time was well spent.
I agree with you. Actually, so many young people are there here watching, right, in our
Sure.
team. So what is the, I know it's a very cliche question, but what's the one top piece of advice that you would want to give every young person who's trying to stay relevant, make money, build wealth for themselves, build generational wealth?
The first and the foremost will be you have to truly identify your passion. You have to understand what drives you, what makes you happy, what makes you involved, what really works and tricks for you. But I have seen in my life, nothing of any significance is achieved by anyone in any field unless you are truly devoted to what you are doing. Now, whether it is a Tendulkar or whether it is an Amitabh Bachchan or whether it is a Dhirubhai Ambani or whether it is Narendra Bhai Modi, anyone who has achieved anything of any significance in life, they have been truly devoted. They have been very passionate. They have been extremely hardworking. So we don't have to reinvent the rules for success. They are all laid down. The question is how many people can actually practice them on a day-to-day basis. That is one, right? The other thing is that if you set life, any agenda, that on any target, that okay, I'll achieve this, after that my life is going to become good. So let's say you set a target that I want to make 10 crores and after that I want to enjoy life. That's not the right way to look at things. The right way to look at things is what can I do in my life so that I can keep on doing it till my last breath. So I must tell you at this year, my biggest inspiration came actually when I really studied M.F. Hussain. Right?
MF Hussain.
Now, that guy really painted for 90 years. And his last painting became the most valuable painting. So if you ask me, I have one wish, Sonia, that whenever God takes me, I'm going to tell him that please allow me one more week. Let me get one more idea.
Oh God.
And then you
One
can take
more
me away.
multi-bagger.
One more multi-bagger and then you can take me away.
So it's really a never-ending journey.
It is. That is what my advice will be, that you have to identify something which you can, because see, at the end of the day, for any individual, eventually, Sonia, it is all about creating identity. What are you trying to do? What am I trying to do? We are actually somewhere living for creating our own identity first in our own eyes, then for public. that are we relevant for our own self?
Yeah.
And
True.
I am saying that relevance will only come with very, very consistent hard work, with lot of devotion, with lot of passion. Otherwise, it's a very competitive world, you know.
Correct, absolutely. But
Hardly 1% people end up succeeding.
correct.
And-
That's how I started my
Yeah.
interview. That it's only 1% people, not even 1.1% people succeed in
But that's
stock
why
markets.
that
at
is
least.
why it is difficult. That is why it requires that extraordinary passion, devotion, hard work, commitment, whatever you call it.
Yeah. We've actually run out of time, but thank you so much. This was an amazing conversation filled with lot of wisdom, market wisdom, and lot of amazing food. So thank you
No,
so
absolutely.
much.
Thank you so much. But I must tell you that when I look back on a closing mark, when I look back my own journey, trust me, I think I have not yet begun. But there is really so much now energy in me right now that, and obviously there is some understanding of the market and there is some money which you can take risk and the plethora of opportunity which India is going to throw up. I wish I was 10, 20 years younger, but it doesn't matter, you know. Because at least I am very clear there is a lot more I want to do over the next years of my life than what I have done.
And I hope and pray you continue to succeed the way you are.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
it was an amazing conversation. Thank you so much. It's also our 100K subscribers, so it's our special episode. So thank you for being a part of it.
Congratulations and all the very best.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure in this journey you will do really, really well. Some of the content which you're doing is really coming up well. It suits the format and you are someone I have seen your work really, really hard. So all the best to you and your entire team.
Thank you,
And
Madhu.
I hope
Thank you.
we'll catch up again soon.
Of course,
Yeah,
100%,
yeah, yeah.
100%.
Thank you.